Huntsville, Alabama. You know we've got space camp and rockets and government contractors, but did you know we have one kick-ass music scene that doesn't get near enough attention? Well, that's about to change. Welcome to Uprising, a podcast about the people that make Huntsville's music scene so cool. Hosted by me, Bill Fowler, Huntsville native and lifelong musician. So strap on that guitar, flip on that amp, and crank it all the way up. You've just joined the Uprising.
All right, that's doing its thing. It's doing its thing.
Are we live?
Good. We're live.
Awesome.
So we're here at Tangled Strings. I'm with Preston Watts, and this place is amazing. Is it not?
It's my favorite place I've ever played, honestly.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, we're on the stage, and what you can't see is that behind you is, what do you say, 135?
I think so, yeah.
Seats.
135.
Of various, it's just a really cool, there's couches, there's, if I were a smarter man, I would have made a shot that you could see everything, but, this is
a great background.
Imagine this, ambiance, but back there. So if you ever get a chance to see, actually, which is part of what we're here to talk about, is Tangled Strings Festival.
It is, yeah.
Which is Danny Davis, who's around here someplace, who is a luthier.
I'm sorry?
A luthier.
Luthier.
I have a hard time saying that. He builds guitars.
Oh, I don't know that word.
Yeah. Apparently that's like the proper term.
Okay.
A luthier.
Yes.
I don't
Well,
like
he
saying
builds
that.
great guitars.
He does. I bought one.
Really?
Do you have one?
No, I don't. I've played one once.
I should just give you mine because it's just collecting dust, and you would probably be able to do a lot more good stuff with it.
I'll take it, for sure.
So Preston, who is, I'm going to use the term amazing local talent.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. There's more where that came from.
All right.
But I saw you for the first time here with Listen Local.
Uh-huh.
Which one was that?
10, I think so.
Listen Local 10, which to me seems like it was a year and a half ago.
I think so. No, it was last April, I believe. So it was a year.
Time for me is becoming relative.
Well, they do. I mean, it's like every quarter, right? There's a new Listen Local.
Yeah.
I think.
And yours, I just remember was really good because I see, I know your dad, and so I see him in the audience, and we exchange hellos, and then I put it together that you.
Oh, you didn't know? Okay.
No, you know. And what's great about Listen Local is that you come to a show and then you see names of people that you feel like, well, I probably should know
Yeah.
who that is, and then you witness them, like I did you, and it was like, man, that is incredible. Hey, and then you make the connection.
Yeah. Small world.
But I mean, I was blown away by your set. Was excellent.
Thank you.
And then what you end up wanting to know is part of the reason why I wanted to start this kind of video podcast, whatever it is, series, is I wanted to know how you started, where you came from, what are you writing, where are you going, what do you where can I see more of you, and you can get so much on Facebook and so on, but that doesn't really do this justice.
Well, I'm a fan of your podcast already. I mean,
thanks, man.
I've seen them. Yeah.
I appreciate it. It just so happens we have a lot of great people in town that want to tell their story.
We do. We really do.
Alan Little, a good friend of mine, again, we were at Listen Local, and I wanted to know more about you and more about really everybody that I'd seen, and we kind of brainstormed this thing through, and then the reason why I'm here with you right now is because of Danny and the Tangled Strings Festival, which you're going to be playing at.
Yes.
Which is June 22nd, if I'm correct.
It is.
At the Big Spring Park.
It is, yes.
And you'll be there.
I will.
Tell me well, let's start with this. You're a singer-songwriter, I guess that's what you would call yourself.
Yes, for sure.
Will you be playing singularly? Are you playing with a band? How is that going to work?
I'll be playing by myself, solo. And I mean, I think I had originally wanted to bring on a few more people, but for this certain festival, for the stage I'm on, it's conducive for solo acts or duo acts.
Yeah.
And so it'll be a pretty stripped down version of my music that will be coming out eventually.
So not unlike what I saw here at Listen Local.
Yes, basically the same thing.
Great. Man, well that's really cool. And how did that come about? How did
I land the gig for Tangled Strings?
Yeah.
Well, Alan Little is a great friend, family friend, and he heard me play at some point, and he liked my stuff, and I liked his stuff, and he had me on here, or Listen Local show.
Yeah.
Listen Local 10. And since then, I came back. I came back for, I believe it was 12, and he had me on for one song. You know how he brings up, he'll bring up a guest that's been on the show previously.
Right.
And so I did that, and while I was backstage waiting, while everyone was up here, me and John Schmidt started talking, and I was just interested in what he was trying to do business-wise with Listen Local and with everything they're working on. And I don't know, we just kind of hit it off, and ever since then, he's been helping me.
Yeah.
He helps me with my Facebook promotional stuff, and both of them are just looking, Alan and John are both just looking out for me, and I'm very thankful.
Well,
and they landed me that gig at Tangled Strings.
That's really good. And from what I understand, and I'll be doing more videos as we get closer to that date. But my understanding is, as of today, which is what today is Memorial Day, so that would be May 27th.
It is, yes.
That this time last year, for the first Tangled Strings Festival, there were maybe 200 and something tickets sold, and now we're well into the 2000s.
I believe it.
Really good.
Yeah.
Which means that the power of the Listen Local brand, which I think, and Tangled Strings, which is kind of teamed up to create a great venue with great artists in a great environment, and also just the fact that the local music scene in Huntsville is well, the music scene in Huntsville generally is just kind of taking off.
It is, and the city's doing a lot to try to make it better. You know?
Right.
Especially y'all. I mean, y'all aren't the city, but I mean, Listen Local. You're a part of Listen Local, right?
I just kind of ride their coattails.
Okay.
So yes.
Okay. Well, just the support that comes from Listen Local is incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is.
Well, there's an audience for. And the interesting thing is, I think that there has always been talented people in Huntsville doing really cool music.
For sure.
And where there's always been an audience for that. What there hasn't always been is the in the middle, is people like Danny that create environments where you want to go see a band, and it isn't midnight, in a smoky bar someplace that you wouldn't go otherwise. So the environment, I think, is has a lot to do with it, and people who are smart and are putting their money behind venues like this.
Exactly.
So back to you. We'll get to Tangled Strings Festival again because we're going to push that a few more times. But tell me, how old are you?
27.
Okay, 27, and you have been a musician since when? How old were you when you kind of started doing this?
Well, I've played music my whole life, or ever since I can remember. But I picked up the guitar when I was 13, and that's when I really resonated with music.
What started that? What prompted that?
Actually, it was my brother got a guitar for Christmas, and I stole it from him, basically. Started playing, and I taught myself for a few years, and then Anthony Sharp, who's a local, obviously.
Anthony of Toy Shop.
Of Toy Shop, yes. He's incredible, and so is his brother. But he's also a guitar teacher, and in about 9th grade, I started taking lessons from him, and he just inspired me to, anytime I thought I couldn't play something, he'd be like, no, you can play it, just you have to try.
Right.
And he would just throw harder and harder songs at me until, one day I just got it, and I fell in love.
Yeah, and the rest is history.
The rest is history, yeah.
So you have this, you play through high school in bands, were you doing that
high
kind
school,
of thing?
there
or was it
wasn't,
mostly?
I didn't have a band in high school. I would occasionally get up with Anthony downtown somewhere and play a song or two. Yeah. But this was when, city started cracking down on age limits and stuff like that. So I was only able to do that for, I'd have to sneak in if I was doing it, or possibly go to the corner, or, somewhere. Right. But college, I got a band and we played around for a while.
Where was that?
I went to UNA.
Okay.
So I lived in Florence, Muscle Shoals. And I mean, I made best friends with all those guys. They're still my best friends that were in my band, but the lead singer had moved off to Nashville, and our drummer is working at Noise Block in Muscle Shoals, and I still hang out and jam with him sometimes. Yeah. But mostly it's just I've been doing solo stuff recently.
Yeah. And were you writing music this whole time, like when you were playing in college?
No. I was actually really bad about writing. I was more focused on learning as much as I could and diving into different instruments, and but it was about my senior year of college when I decided, like, all right, I can't just do covers my whole life. I need to figure out a way to start writing an album, and it was about 2016 when I started writing the album my first album that I've recorded.
Now that's a pretty huge change. I mean, I remember I played guitar and sang at the college bar thing.
Yes.
It was good money and it was something to do and gave me a social life. The distance between doing that and then suddenly deciding I want to be a songwriter, it's a pretty big gap.
It's a big leap. Yeah.
What was the impetus to push you in that direction?
Really just, and the more it was my attention to lyrics, because I used to never be a lyrics guy.
Yeah.
It was all about guitar. It was all about the musicality, or the instrumentation of music. And Jason Isbell actually changed that for me. I started listening to Jason Isbell and I was diving into his lyrics, and they just blew me away, how poetic they were, and that's what made me want to really try to express my emotions.
Yeah.
Because the way he made me feel through his music, I wanted to do that to other people.
Right.
So
right.
that was the first, and it surprised me how hard it was at first to write a good song. I mean, you write and write and write, and a lot of it is just not that good.
Right.
But you keep going. And
well, as a songwriter, this is interesting because I do it. I'm bad at it, but the things that I pull out of Jason Isbell, I'm a huge fan of his as well, is a recovering alcoholic.
Yep.
Tough life.
Yes.
Years and years and years of struggle and stress and all those things. And I know you. I know your family.
Yes.
How does a reasonably well-off middle-class kid come out with? Because I had the same problem.
Yes.
You need to kind of go through something in order to pull out something.
You
so
do.
What's the answer there?
Well, like Jason Isbell, I wouldn't say that I went down as dark of a path with alcohol as Jason Isbell did, but I'm sober. I don't drink alcohol anymore, or do drugs or anything like that. And it's because of, I struggled with it for a while. So that's another thing that resonated with me, and that's a lot of what I write about. And a lot of just, I was born into a wonderful family, obviously.
Yeah.
And but there were just, basically any kind of internal struggle that I had, I needed to get it out.
And that was your way to do it.
And that was my way to do it. Yeah. And yeah. But I struggled with the same thing at first, because I was like, what do I write about? I had a good life growing up. I went to a good school, went to college, but you'd be surprised what you find if you dig inside, and really try to pull something out.
Sure. And do you remember the first time you felt like you had written a good song?
Yeah.
Where you just stand up and you realize, I think I want to do this.
Well, I think I already knew. I was determined to do it.
Yeah.
I was determined to write a good song.
Yeah.
And I knew I could do it if I just kept rewriting and rewriting. I mean, writing that's all it is rewriting. You write something, realize how terrible it is.
The editing process is where the creativity
that's
is,
what
right?
it is.
Right.
It's nothing. I mean, you're very lucky if a full song just falls out of you.
Sure.
That's never happened to me.
Right.
I know that it has happened to some people.
Right.
Hopefully it'll happen to me someday, but for now it's just, I was determined to write a good song, and the first time I did it, I was like, okay, I can, now it's time to write another one. So I wrote and wrote and wrote, and finally I wrote, I don't even know how many songs, a lot of them, most of them bad, and ended up with 12 or 13 that I thought were worthy to go on a record.
Now, and you've recorded this?
I've recorded it, yes.
Where'd you do it?
Nut House, at the Nut House recording studio.
So this was your drummer with your with your?
No. This was he works at Noise Block, which is in Florence. It's all good. There's a lot of studios over there.
Yeah.
But it's Jimmy Nutt's studio. Rob Aldridge recorded his record there.
Okay, that's why it sounds familiar.
Yeah. But he also produced it, and he has been just amazing with just his creative, just the way we can feed off of each other. It's very open communication,
and these are songs that you recorded just with an ensemble, or it was just you?
I hired for 2 days. I hired session musicians. So I hired a drummer, bass player, keys player, and that was it. And then I played guitar and sang. So we got the basic tracks down in 2 days, and ever since then I've been overdubbing. And
now, is this something that somebody can go pick up? How does this work?
Not yet. It's not done. We actually just decided that we're going to self-release it. We're still trying to figure that out. It's done being recorded. I think I have like one more day that I need to go in and tweak a few things, but other than that, it's mixed mostly, and it needs to be mastered, and that's it. It'll be ready to go.
This is a tangent, but you have some context here, so I'm going to ask about the difference between what you think Muscle Shoals is in Huntsville. I realize that Muscle Shoals has the much deeper musical kind of the backbone with the studio musicians and the Swampers, and what Muscle Shoals just is. I mean, it's just a legendary location. Huntsville seems to have, and this is what I've heard from people who I have contact with in Florence, is that the Shoals has all the studios and Huntsville has the venues and building the venues.
That's true. Yes.
So do you see an opportunity for a handshake kind of situation between those two places? I mean, I realize that someone like you is going to go to the Shoals to hire your musicians, to do your recording.
Yes.
But if you want to sell your stuff, you want to perform, you want to do this, you're going to do the Tangled Strings Festival, you're going to do Sidetracks, you're going to do the Mercantile, you're going to do these venues. Do you see that as the same? Am I saying that correctly?
I think so, yeah. I think that Muscle Shoals is obviously incredible, has incredible music history when it comes to recording and all that good stuff. And even with the school, it's got a great reputation for its music, entertainment. Just the classes you can take there. But they are lacking just a little in venues. They don't have many venues, and I think they are working on that. But Huntsville is taking some big strides to I mean, there's nothing like this room here. This is a listening room. People come here and they want to listen. And I have not seen a place like that in Muscle Shoals. There could be, but I don't know. I don't know.
Well, okay, that was a tangent. I've been thinking about that a lot. I have some friends that are there, and of course, when I talked to Rob, when Rob was on the podcast a couple of weeks ago, we had this conversation in that he went and he moved to Florence.
Yeah, he lives out there.
Has been there for 10 plus years because that's where he wanted to record. And so when you look up Rob Aldridge on the internet, it says from Muscle Shoals, which there's a reason why you do that, of course.
Yes.
And but if you want to play to a room of 100 plus people, or if you want to go someplace where there's a good stage and a great sound system, then this is the closest place really to do that.
I think so. I would agree, yeah.
And so we have an opportunity there. Anyway, I just wanted to put that aside, but I want to get back to your work. So if I were someone who is going to see you at Tangled Strings Festival, and of course is going to fall in love with your music, June 22nd is probably too early to pick up your album, or you think maybe there'd be a time?
It'll be too early to pick it up. I actually, I almost wish that I hadn't, I told people like a year and a half ago, I got an album coming out. Didn't realize the process of what it is, So it's taken quite a while, and I'm quite the perfectionist, unfortunately, which is good and bad, but that's why Jimmy is there to kind of bring me back down to earth. And he's actually the reason why we're finally we're going to release it. You know?
Well, man, that's really exciting, and of course in this day and age, an album which is kind of a fuzzy term.
It is, very.
No matter when it hits, it'll be streamable and all that jazz, and I assume that you'll be on Spotify and all that stuff.
Yes, it will.
Well, I'd like to come back and talk to you, of course, when that's finished, when I get a chance to listen to you. And but for now, I just wanted to give people who didn't know, number one, that you're going to be at Tangled Strings Festival is coming up. That's a really big thing.
It is, yes.
There's going to be a lot of eyeballs there, and the people who enjoyed your set here at Listen Local, and that's been close to a year ago, you said.
Yes.
are going to get a chance to see you again. But now you play pretty regularly around town.
I do. It's mostly, a lot of it is private parties, but I'm trying to work my way more into venues like this. My main problem is that if I'm going to be playing my original music, a lot of it is a little slow.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not sure that I'm suitable for a bar, but you know, places like Beauregard's on Sunday morning and stuff like that, or rooms like this. You know, where people are they're not coming to party. You know?
Right.
But
more intimate settings, and there's not a whole lot of places that offer that.
There's not.
But like you said, you can do those gigs where you're mood music, you know, and you can do your thing, hone your skills, and kind of be there, get your name out, make a little money here and there.
Yes.
And that's good. Well, man, I really appreciate you being here. Again,
Glad to be here.
I wanted to get in front of you and let everybody know who you are and what you're up to. In advance of the Tangled Strings Festival, again on June 22nd, and tickets are on sale right now on Facebook. If you go to Facebook and just type in Tangled Strings Festival, you'll see tickets are on sale, and they're selling really well, as we said.
They are. Yeah.
Do you know? I haven't looked. Do you know what time you'll be playing that day?
Actually, I looked the other day. I think it's 7. I know on the third one. On the third one.
Okay.
I need to figure that out and post it.
And explain to the camera here that there's 4 local acts, and then there's 4 or more.
Yeah. So I could be wrong about this, but I think there's 2 stages, right?
Yes, you're right.
And there's a local stage, the Listen Local stage, and then there's a out-of-town stage, or I don't know.
Driving and Crying being like the headliner of that.
Exactly.
Of that out-of-town stage.
So we are on the local stage, and there's 4 of us, right? On the local stage. I'm the third act, and it's on Saturday.
June 22nd. It's going to be great.
22nd,
I'm sure it's just going to be a cool, breezy day, as all June days in Huntsville. But we're going to have a great time, and I'll be out there too. So I'll see you, stage left, stage right, as we get ready to have some fun. Well, man, Preston, you're just a great dude for doing this. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
If I wanted to listen to you right now, is there anything out there that I can pull, or am I going to come see you at Beauregard's, or what's the story? How does that work?
Okay, so if you want to listen to me, there's none of my original material out there right now. But there are plenty of videos of me on Facebook, some on YouTube, of me doing covers, stuff like that.
Sure.
So
well, good enough.
You want to get the idea of it.
Yeah. Sure. Well, I'll be there June 22nd. It's going to be a blast. Again, thank you for doing this.
Thanks for having me.
Preston Watts, everybody.